Dion here from Hideaway Doors, along here with the owner Chris, and today we're going to install a BiFold bookcase.
Okay, so when your BiFold door arrives, it's going to arrive with the hardware already on it, ready to go. Now when your bookcase folds up to one side or the other, it's going to take up roughly between 18.5, 18 3/4. So there's a few things that you would have had to determine before you ordered your door, is which side, right or left, you want your door to fold up on. So in our showroom we have a 36-inch wide opening that we're going to cover with our BiFold door. Your opening may be different sizes, it may be located in different areas. The best thing you could do is determine on how far past the opening you want your bookcase to cover, and make sure when your door folds up to that 18.5 or 18 3/4 that it folds up enough out of the way of your opening. For this particular bookcase, we have this one that's going to fold to the right. The first thing we need to do is to determine how far past the opening we want our bookcase to start. Once we figure out how far past the opening we want this to go, we'll take that measurement and measure back 1 inch and make a mark on the floor. And then we'll come off of the wall 5.5 inches and make a mark. So you make a crosshair, and that's where the center of your bottom track is going to mount to. Okay, you'll make another mark at the other end at 5.5 inches, and depending on what size bookcase door, BiFold door you get, you may have to cut this track down so it works for your opening. So this is going to be 5.5 inches on center of this, off of your wall here. Make a mark, mount your bottom track, and then you're going to pull a measurement from where you started from to determine where the pin is going to go. This one's roughly 70.5 inches for a 6-foot BiFold door. And then you're going to come off of the wall surface again, 5.5 inches, and make a mark. So this is going to be roughly 1.5 inches shorter than your bookcase size. Make a mark this way, come off of the drywall roughly 5.5 inches, make a cross mark. That's going to be the center of your pin. You're going to mount the pin down, and in this case we put all the washers on here as spacers after this gets mounted. And then next we're going to show you how to mount the bookcase.
Alright, now we're ready to install the BiFold bookcase. You may need 1 or 2 more people to help you with this for the top valance piece. Maybe 1 to hold the door, or 2, and then to do the valance on top of the bookcase. Alright, here's a little tip right before we get to stand up the bookcase. I know everybody doesn't have cardboard like this at their disposal. You can throw a blanket down or what have you to just help protect the door to where you can stand it up and manipulate it a little bit more. So this is our piece of cardboard, and now we'll stand up the door. So we're getting ready to put this on this pivot over here, and roughly the pivot plate is about 1 inch in from the edge of the door. So it's kind of going to be just a little tricky, but I'm just going to set that on there until it finds that sweet spot.
Okay, now that we have the bookcase stood up, it's on the track and it's set in the pin, we want to take a couple of shims and put it on the corner right here, one down at the other corner, and you may want to put one in the middle just in case. And what these shims do is it properly adjusts the height off of the bookcase top for the top track to mount, so we get that in the right position. So that's our next step. that we have our top track just resting on top, we use 3/16 inch thickness of shims to get the proper adjustment in height. The next step is to insert our pin between the top hardware and the top of the bookcase. We're going to show you how to do that next. So it's important to point out that we do not supply the fasteners for the top box to mount to your wall. In this case, we were using a 3" by T25 torque screw or a deck screw to fasten the box to the wall, and you want to put at least one per every stud as you fasten the top track box.
Okay, when installing your valance, you'll make sure that you're flush, got your pin in, and then you want to locate your studs in your wall, and then you'll just have your shims in and get the right distance, and then we'll just fasten it to the wall.
So at this point, it completes the installation process. Of course, you want to just, after you get your top track box mounted, you want to test this. Open it all the way up and close it. Make sure everything's working properly. Make sure there's no further adjustments needed. Make sure it shuts properly and looks good. Sometimes you may have to shim in different areas to make it all work out so it's nice and flush. So that about does it. Thanks for joining us.